So here's another artist whose work I really like a lot, named Wallace Tripp. And this book is A Great Big Ugly Man Came Up and Tied His Horse to Me. And you see the ugly man walking away, the horse, and this is who me is. Little tiny bear or something. These drawings that this guy does are just great. I've had this book for quite a while now. Don't even remember when I got it. Probably when I was in my Wallace Tripp phase, which would have been the mid-'80s. But look at these drawings here. And they're in color. Most likely watercolor. But these pen and ink drawings that he's done, I don't know that you can get this look of the pen line with a felt tip pen. It looks more like he actually used an ink pen dipped in a jar of ink to get this look. And this is yet another way to get your project out there, make a book of your project. For some people, it's faster and more satisfying than making a film because you've got the finished picture there as you do it. But look at these wonderful drawings. I wonder if this is a self-published book because there's no copyright in. Oh, there it is. 73. Yeah, I got this sometime in the 80s. Here's another one called Worst Sellers by Wallace Tripp. There was a line of greeting cards that he had out, printed by Paul Publishing, I guess. But look at this drawing of this princess on top of this weird creature, lion creature with horns. So a lot of this stuff are weird, strange poems that he's illustrated. These lovely drawings here. Just great stuff. A bunch of us were fans of Wallace Tripp and bought as many of his books as we could. I used to have a few more, and I gave them away to somebody a few years ago. But his style is so great, and a bunch of us were fans back then in the 80s. I know there's websites online that have a lot of his stuff, and a Google search will turn up a bunch of his drawings and paintings. There's a Conan type guy there. I think this page was the first continuity I had seen him do, about a cute little bunny, and he's just walking around being cute, saying cute things, and finally the wolf eats him. And the wolf says, "I ate him not for need of food, I did it for the common good." And this little bird says good, because he was just so cute. Looks like George Washington talking to some little cutesy creature. And, oh, looks like he's making George's teeth. Look at this great drawing of the tiger. So if you can get a bunch of his artwork for some inspiration, that's the Worst Sellers. This one is a pop-up book of beasts. Somebody else wrote this, but as you see, when you open it up, pictures pop out at you. Then you pull the tab and something happens. Little things move around. Here's something about a yak, polar bear, and then when you spin this wheel around, they go falling down in the snow. There's a lion. I think this got a little bit broken. That's what happens when you're moving. Well, I'll figure that out later. A big baboon dressed up in a suit. I don't know what happens when you... Oh. It's that way and then that way. There's a big old elephant. Some dinosaur dodos. Something about a frog. Something about a whale. Great big book. Wallace Tripp stuff. Here's one called Marguerite, Go Wash Your Feet. And a bunch more rhymes, I guess, and stories. And this one came out in '85, so I probably bought it that year or the next year. Yeah, great drawings here. This is an Alice in Wonderland thing. The way he does his anthropomorphic animals are so nice, so solid. Just really great stuff in there. That bear looked familiar. A very similar pose. This bear here and this bear here. So another great Wallace Tripp book. Something about a giant there. Great drawings. And here's one he did of Casey at the Bat, based on an old poem from 1888. Old baseball. That looks like it's coming apart. That's what happens when your books get old. The glue gives out. Here's some of his greeting cards. A couple that I saved. The bad guy tying the lady down to the train tracks, and a little mouse writing a thank you note, probably. This says 1978, so he's been around a while. Let's see what he does with Casey. He's got a bunch of animals playing baseball. So if you know the poem, Casey at the Bat, you'll know all the stuff that's going on here. And he just illustrates the poem. Here's Casey coming up to bat, tipping his hat, or doffing his hat. And a tiger pitching. And Casey takes a strike. There's a pig as the umpire. Casey gets more determined. Look at all those drawings of the guy throwing the pitch. I guess he's not a tiger, he's a lynx. Great drawings there. Casey swings. And the last line is, but there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. And we see the guy picking up the papers on the field. End of the game. Poor Casey. So that's my Wallace Tripp collection. Look at that, $250. See, you can look him up online and check out his work. You won't be disappointed. Again, more inspiration for you if you are looking for some inspiration to draw your own project. Keep drawing, and we'll see you next time.